going to talk today about the clairsentient body. Now, I have a different label for my clairsentient body. I call it my sponge body. And the reason I call it my sponge body is because it gives me a great visual. So I want to talk a little bit about a clairsentient opening. As psychic, hypersensitive individuals, we can have more than one type of opening. Right now, I'm just talking about a clairsentient or a sponge body, feeling body opening. So my sponge body is my feeling body. It's the part of me that feels the emotions of others. Now, before the opening, as you can see, we have this nice little sponge body in this package, which is our physical body. And then the opening comes along, just like this, and our sponge body realizes that it can come out of the physical body, like this. And while it's out of the physical body, it starts to expand and grow. So it goes from this to this. Now, what's happening for me as a human being and an individual when my sponge body comes out of my physical body, out of the package, and starts to roam around like this? It's still connected to me, but it's definitely doing its own thing because it's mostly out of the package. Now, my sponge body walks into a room where there is a energy essence of sadness. I'm not sad, but my sponge body senses and dips into the energy essence of sadness. And then I leave there and I go for coffee somewhere and I step into the energy essence of anxiety. And then I leave there and I walk into somewhere else and I step into the energy essence of happiness. Now, this sponge, because it's not fully expanded, isn't picking up much. But it's still opening up, and eventually it will look like this. And as it starts to open, look what happens to your sponge body. Now I go to the room filled with sadness. Then I go to the room filled with anxiety. And then I go to the room filled with something else. And pretty soon, after a while, my sponge body is on overload. And now I go back into a different room. My sponge body's already on overload. And yet I'm trying to take on more feeling and more emotion. Every time I come into contact with somebody, I'm taking on more. Now, if I didn't know better, I would believe that all of this emotion, all of this feeling that I've picked up belongs to me. It doesn't. It's my sponge body sensing, feeling what is left behind in the space that we visit. So, when my sponge body is in this state, I'm a wreck. I'm over the edge, unbelievably befuddled, confused, terrified, fearful, because it may not make sense to me why I'm feeling so much anxiety, why I'm feeling so much pain, Why I can't get out of bed in the morning. So the question becomes, what do I do to do this to my sponge body? Is it mine or does it belong to somebody else?